I mean, you could throw them in the back of a Subaru, but you're going to have bees in your Subaru, which, by the way, my dad does all the time. Whenever we go pick up nukes, which are like how you purchase hives, a lot of times it's just a little box with 4 frames and a queen and kind of a starter. We went and picked up like 10 of those a couple seasons ago, and he just threw them in the back of the car. And then my mom was in the front, and I was sitting in the back, and I'm like, can we roll down the windows? There's like a lot of bees back here. And he was like, just complaining all the time. Like the backseat was like filled with flying
Filled with bees. I don't know how you're driving around with bees, but I don't.
I'd like at least the windows down in the backseat, please.
Right, so that it kind of, they stay in their box so that they don't get blown out into the world.
And he goes, we're going to lose them. And I'm like, I'm kind of okay with losing like 15 bees that are...
We could lose 15 bees that aren't going to sting me and lose their minds. Wow. Okay, so then let's talk about what's happening with the bees.
Yeah, so it's been... When we started, and so my dad grew up in Sacramento.
Okay.
Outside of Sacramento in like a farming town.
That's the name of that's the name of the newspaper. The Sacramento Bee.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Huh? Yeah. He grew up in Loomis on a farm. And when he was keeping bees, everybody had bees. You just had a box in the back, and you went out and occasionally grabbed some honey out of it, and you never had to do anything to it. So he's been very frustrated with the fact that now to keep bees, it is so labor intensive. And you lose a ton. Like, I charge for honey, I charge $10 a bottle, and people are sometimes like, $10? I'm like, I make literally no money on this.
Right.
Like, I'm losing money on honey. I just more sell it because it's fun and people like it.
Right.
It's such an expensive thing to do anymore because you have to... we do organic beekeeping as much as we can, and we treat with with sort of non, quote unquote, chemical things. But so they had a mite come over from Asia called the varroa mite, which is essentially a tick that eats on bees, and that and a few other things have just like destroyed the bee population. Although it's a lot of things that the CDC, the colony collapse disorder, the CCD, it's not one thing, from what I understand. It's like a lot of different things.
It's a perfect storm of
it's kind of a perfect storm. Yeah,
just a shit show of bee killing.
Yeah,
things that are happening. So there's a tick from Asia that came that are killing the North American bees because they're an invasive species to some extent, right?
Yeah, basically our bees had like no
defense
against it at all.
Okay,
they were just completely ruined by it. And it happened so fast. Like I worked for the Idaho, for the Treasure Valley Beekeeping Club for a long time as their community liaison person. And then I went to all the like Idaho honey lobbyist stuff, and I would meet a lot of the commercial guys who had lost like 7,000 to 10,000 hives that season.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, these are people who've been keeping bees for 5 generations. That's what their family's done.
Right. It's not like they're bad at it.
No.
They didn't kill the bees.
Yeah.
Something came in and killed all the bees.
And I had a couple friends just quit beekeeping. We're like, we do onions now because like you couldn't keep bees alive for a couple years.
Right.
It has gotten better because a lot of treatment techniques have come through and people are trying. I mean, for a while, people were throwing antibiotics and all these other things at it, and it was like none of that was helping. And now the stuff you have to do is like healthier for the bees, but it's a lot more labor intensive. And the other issue is
it slowly move your hand up and fondle a bee?
Yeah, you have to touch them gently.
You're like, guys, let me just brush that off you. And one at a time.
Actually, what we use, one of the most effective things for them is a powdered sugar dust, which is kind of fun to do. We open the hive and we take a flour sifter and we take powdered sugar and you dust the whole hive with it and you dust each frame. And for one thing, it helps. The bees will groom each other because they're covered in powdered. You'll have all these little ghost bees flying around covered in powdered sugar. Yeah. But they groom each other to get the sugar off. And in doing that, they pull off all of the varroa mites.
Oh, okay.
And so we put a sticky board underneath so that when they drop, you can catch all of the mites so that they don't go back up.
Yeah.
That's pretty effective. We use